Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the April 27th, 2026 City Council meeting. Will you please all join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, when you are ready, will you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Melly Garthwaite is absent. Councilman Peter Rivera is absent. Councilman Sean Ronan.
Here.
Councilwoman Ann Heffernan is absent. Councilwoman Nancy Tagliatella is absent. Councilwoman Sarah Akbarali.
Councilwoman Sarah Akbarali, 3rd District, present.
Councilman Gary Donovan.
Councilman Gary Donovan, 4th District, present.
Councilman Edward McMillan.
Councilman Edward McMillan, 5th District, present.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan, 6th District, present.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker, 7th District, present.
Councilman David Beaton is absent. Councilman Ronald Quagliani.
Ron Quagliani, 10th District, present.
And Chairman Christopher Vargo.
Chairman Christopher Vargo, 8th District, present.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Time is 6:57, and we will enter a series of public hearings under the Legislative Matters Committee, headed up by Chairman Quagliani.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The time is 6:57 p.m. and the Legislative Matters Committee is in session. Members present is Councilwoman Akbarali, Councilwoman Tucker, Councilman Ronan, myself acting as chair, and Councilwoman Melly Garthwaite is absent. Our first public hearing this evening is Communication H from the April 13th, 2026 agenda from Mayor Borer requesting consideration and action regarding an amendment to Chapter 19156-1D Sewers of the Code of the City of West Haven Sewer Connection Permit Fees. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the council regarding this matter? For a second time, anyone from the public like to address the council regarding this matter? And for the third and final time, would anyone from the public would like to address the council regarding this matter? Seeing none, this public hearing is closed at 6:58 p.m. The next public hearing at 6:58 p.m. Communication I from the 12/13/2026 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Borer requesting consideration and action regarding amendment Chapter 191-561H Sewers of the Code of the City of West Haven regarding sewer connection fees. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the council on this matter? For a second time, anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? For a third and final time, anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? Seeing none, the public hearing on Communication I is closed at 6:59 p.m. Next public hearing is Communication J from the April 13th, 2026 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Borer requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Article 1 of Chapter 119, Garbage, Refuse, and Rubbish of the Code of the City of West Haven. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the council on this matter? For a second time, anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? For the third and final time, anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed at 6:59 p.m. Next public hearing is Communication K from the April 13th, 2026 agenda for Mayor Dorinda Borer requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Chapter 119-11 of the Code of the City of West Haven, penalties for garbage, refuse, and rubbish container violations. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the council regarding this matter? For a second time, anyone from the public like to address the council regarding this matter? For a third and final time, anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? Seeing none, public hearing on Communication J is closed at 7 p.m. K, at 7 p.m. Thank you. Communication L from the April 13th, 2026 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Borer requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Section 170-32 of the Code of City of West Haven, penalties for violating rules and regulations in park and recreation areas. Anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? For a second time, anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? And for a third and final time, anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? Seeing none, the public hearing on Communication L is now closed at 7 o'clock p.m. And we have Communication M public hearing from the April 13th, 2026 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Boer requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Chapter 71-5 of the Code of the City of West Haven, penalties for alarm system violations. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address the council regarding this matter? For a second time, anyone from the public like to address the council regarding this matter? And for a third and final time, anyone from the public like to address the council on this matter? Seeing none, communication M, public hearing is closed at 7:01 p.m. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our public hearings for this evening.
Thank you very much. Before we move on, just two housekeeping matters. First is, I spoke with Councilwoman Garthwaite this morning, and because she's missed a series of meetings, she did want me to convey to everybody she's having some serious issues with her spine, and for a while it was causing her great difficulty to sit for a long time. Now it's causing her trouble to move. So she is treating with a physician. She is watching what is happening on the meetings on YouTube, so she is up to date, but she just wanted me to convey what's going on with her. Second item is the Health and Wellness Committee does not have a quorum this evening, so I am asking for a motion to amend this evening's agenda to pull the presentation by Sheila Carmen and Communication C from the Health and Wellness Committee and move it to council as a whole.
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Tucker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Ronan. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Time is 7:02, and we will now enter public session. Would anyone from the public like to address the City Council? For a second time, would anyone from the public like to address the City Council? Third and final time, would anyone from the public? Ma'am?
Hi, good evening. My name is Nika Zarazvan. I live at 360 Fountain Street in New Haven, Connecticut. And I'm here to speak about Roya Mohammadi. We just reviewed the results of the police investigation, or the internal affairs investigation of the investigation of Roya's death. And I could walk you through each and every point in it. But mostly I just feel compelled to ask you whether you would be satisfied with these investigation results if this were your daughter, if this were somebody that you cared about. Do you think that it's acceptable that it took the police 4 weeks to conduct an interview with a suspect in your daughter's case? Do you think it's acceptable that they didn't speak to you, her mother, because you lived in another country? Do you think it's acceptable that the police told you, we had no policy or no standard for when to collect evidence? So in your case, we didn't go to collect evidence until 8 days out, and in a different case, we took 2 days to go and collect evidence. What do you think? Why would it take imagining that this is your family member, that this is your loved one, to imagine what is appropriate for the police to do? Do you think it's appropriate that the police could say anything about your daughter over the phone to anybody? Could say, oh, she probably killed herself. You don't even know who she was. You don't know her. And then it doesn't come up in an internal affairs investigation because he didn't write it down? What officer is going to document his own discriminatory comments? Why would an internal affairs investigation even get to the bottom of the ways in which he discriminated against Roya if your policies do not set a standard for femicide investigations? I would assume that your officers move more quickly and with more sensitivity around a suspicious death than one that is pretty obviously a homicide. And yet we saw the opposite. We saw officers move at a totally different rate when a woman was dismembered. And we saw them move at a very different rate when her body was found in the river. I don't understand what this discrepancy is. How could this detective be found innocent of any wrongdoing if he refused to speak to the family and then the new detectives assigned to the case spoke to the family immediately? But you say that that has no bearing on the investigation? Is that what you want to say to her family? That speaking to the family had no bearing on the investigation, therefore he did nothing wrong? Again, I'm wondering what you think is enough. I mean, a woman was killed here. 4 people have been killed. 4 women, children, and youth have been killed in this city in the past 3 years. And you think AI-assisted translation on a body cam for police is enough? Is the response to that? Mayor Borey, you said 55,000 residents in West Haven, right? There are 3.6 million in Connecticut. That's about 1.5% of the population. Why are 7% of gender-based violence-related deaths happening in this city? Why? That's 7% of the total Connecticut population, of the per capita deaths. Why is that happening? And why is that still not enough for your city to take more concrete action around femicide? How is that not a municipal problem? If you are overrepresenting the number of femicides happening in the state with 55,000 people, why did 55,000 people lose 4 individuals in the past 3 years? And this is the last thing I'll say is, I'm sure sitting on the city council is a really important job. I'm sure there are lots of things that you do on a daily basis that fill you with pride, that make you feel like this job is important. We are representing our city. Why is this not the most honorable thing that you could do? Is to take a concrete action that says 1 woman had to die in our city and 1 death had to be mishandled for us to take things seriously. We don't have to see more deaths. We don't have to see another case of discrimination. We will act now. And we don't have to see an officer that mishandled an investigation so badly to review our policies for what standards are for an investigation. Why? Why do they need to mess up so badly that beyond a shadow of a doubt they are guilty for you to take action? We have made so many suggestions. Please sit down and have a meeting with us. We don't want Roya's death to be in vain, and we want you to be proud of what you do. Do right by a woman who was killed. Do right by the 4 people that were killed in your city. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Would anyone else from the public like to address the city council? For a second time, would anyone from the public? Ma'am?
Good evening. Vanessa Suarez, Capitol Ave, Hartford, Connecticut. Bear with me, I'm a little tired from our event outside. I know that you all believe in the institution of policing and that it functions to serve and protect, right? Even if you have not experienced domestic violence, I am sure many of you have experienced some type of violence, harm, or crime at some point of your life. If you've ever had to go to the police to report theft, burglary, fraud, a car accident, etc., then you're familiar with what is expected of police when a civilian files any type of report. The expectation is that an open case comes with a lead detective or officer whose duties include interacting with the victim or individuals filing a report. I don't believe any of you would have the same level of trust in policing if all the reports you made went ignored. Now, I want you to imagine the worst imaginable thing has happened. A loved one of yours has unsuspectedly died. You desperately need answers, and so you contact your local police department. Now, imagine being ignored for weeks via phone calls and numerous emails. Imagine a detective whose sole job is to investigate your loved one's death, refuses to even acknowledge receipt of your emails. Now, whether or not you have factual evidence to provide to police to aid them in their investigation, police still have a duty to communicate with the immediate family members of a deceased victim. Sure, West Haven Police will tell you there's no local or state policy that requires them to provide timely updates to families. But the question is, would you tolerate this kind of behavior if it was your child or your parent who had been murdered? I know you wouldn't. I think we're all forgetting here that even in the absence of specific policies on how police must investigate deaths, timely notification to families is essential, not optional. You seem to also forget that Connecticut law now requires police to notify next of kin within 24 hours of identification of a deceased body, which was a direct result of Bridgeport police choosing to not contact the families of 2 Black women whose bodies were unexpectedly found dead in 2021. Bridgeport Police Department's failure to notify those families proved to be a form of discrimination, and it's not that different from what we're seeing in Roya's case. Detective Sarasi's treatment of Roya and her family is discrimination, even if West Haven police won't name it. It's incredible what police can get away with doing or not doing, simply because we haven't created specific policies that force them to actually do their jobs and hold them accountable to the standard of practice. It feels trivial for West Haven police to suggest creating best practices for officers to efficiently communicate with complainants, and yet without it, your officers will continue to discriminate against families like Roya's, who are not white or American, nor privileged, nor English speaking. You don't have to be on the receiving end of discrimination to see it and understand it, and same goes for domestic violence. As a victim of child sexual abuse who reported and is still going through the court process, I can tell you that I have had to chase down multiple police and prosecutors for updates into my own case. Too many times we are told we must be brave, come forward, and report, but even when we do, police fail to do the bare minimum in most cases, which is simply to provide updates to the complainant or the victim. No one is asking for daily updates, but for police to act like they don't have the time, technology, or tools to communicate with non-English speaking families is unacceptable and untrue, especially when we know police are more resourced than ever. So I did send you all an email. I'm wrapping up now. I did send you all an email, and I brought some printed flyers as well. This is our mutual aid program that is aimed at providing basic needs for victims of gender-based violence. And despite your belief that it is the state's responsibility and not yours to provide direct aid to victims of abuse, we have launched a program covering the basic needs for victims of gender-based violence throughout Greater New Haven, including West Haven and your residents. We've emailed you the application details to all the city council members, and we hope that you will share with your residents. And we hope through this program to reach a greater number of victims and demonstrate to you all why investing in resources at the municipal level cannot wait. Thank you all.
Thank you. Would anyone else from the public like to address the city council? Ma'am?
Hello, my name is Tanya Thomas, and I'm a longstanding West Haven resident. The reason I came to the council meeting today is because there's a longstanding issue that's
Ma'am,
been
I'm sorry.
happening.
Could you also please state your address for the record?
209 Campbell Avenue, West Haven, Connecticut.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've been a longstanding West Haven resident, and there's a longstanding issue that's been happening that's getting a blind eye turned to them. We do have a lot of resources with food banks to assist those that are in need in West Haven, but there's no resources to assist individuals that are sleeping outside. There was an individual that was found dead over the winter. He was pushed into Milford because West Haven had no resources for them. They're being pushed into New Haven, into Bridgeport, into West Haven, Milford line, but they're not able to get resources right in the West Haven center. So right now there's about 7 people. I'm working with individuals in outskirts of Milford, Bridgeport, Orange, to help those that are West Haven residents to be able to get housing, to be able to get a step up into their needs. I have an individual that's 2 people actually that are being pushed by police. They're either going to get arrested or they're going to be pushed out. A lot of times when I speak to somebody on the council or in West Haven, they'll say there's not a housing issue. There's not a homeless population issue, but there is. It's because you're not seeing them because the police will push them out of your sight. So just recently, I stop every day. I get off the exit to go home, and there's a few few of them. There's about 4 of them that stand over where 7-Eleven is and McDonald's, kind of bouncing from West Haven's 7-Eleven to Walmart to West Haven's McDonald's, sleeping behind dumpsters. And I'll bring them food. I'll bring them whatever they can get, clothing. And I'm taking it from another program that I'm working at. And, they're being okay with it for the time being. But there's no resources in West Haven for these people. They're dying. They're literally dying. And one soul too much is too much to lose. I know if it's my mother, my sister, my father, my brother, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that they are taken care of. But when they don't have their 50s, 60s, elderly that are sitting outside, sleeping outside, and then you only have somebody that has a kind heart to help them, right? We need to step it up to the city's level to where we can start incorporating whether we have the housing available or at least the resources, because a lot of people don't even realize that there's places that will help them with rapid rehousing, with just getting food. They have a shower at Wheat, and it's once a month. I know, I don't know about you, but I like to shower more than once a month. They pop up once a month, and only 3 or 4 people can take a shower. And if they go up there and they don't have a towel, they don't have anything, it's belittling. They take all of their clothes off, they shower, and then they have to stand there and drip dry or wipe themselves with their clothes that they have on their back. And then they're pushed into a system by 211 where they'll have to wait months. The people that I'm talking about that are at they moved, they were taken by police and given a charge for sleeping outside. And they were moved over to Walmart where they said they had to be out today. So they're working diligently to try to fix brakes on their trailer so they can find another place to park. The trailer is overflowing with feces. It's a hazard, and we've been doing our very best just as West Haven residents to step in and help our sisters and brothers. We need the help from you all to step up and open up some type of programming, launch something so we can get these individuals expedited through 211 to get shelter immediately in the surrounding towns if, in fact, West Haven doesn't have something. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Would anyone else from the public like to address the city council? For a second time, anyone else from, ma'am?
Hello, my name is Amara. I am a resident of New Haven at 222 Canal Street, and I am here in support with Vivan las Autonomas in regard to Roya Mohammadi's death. I'm also speaking as a loved one who has lost someone to femicide. She was a victim of femicide who died in Bridgeport and was brutally murdered. I'm very privileged and lucky to say that I and my family got justice. But even as someone who got justice, that pain doesn't go away. It still hurts, and it's been almost 9 years. And so I can only imagine what Roya's family, who isn't even in, who has to be navigating all of this overseas, I can only imagine what they have gone through over the past 3 years. Despite attempts by the city of West Haven and the West Haven Police Department to implement some interventions to prevent the neglect that happened in Roya's case to not happen again to another victim of gender-based homicide, I believe that more is still needed in order for there to be comprehensive and wraparound domestic violence relief for all victims of domestic violence in the municipality of West Haven in Greater New Haven, regardless of their background, how they present as victims, the language that they speak, to get the resources and justice that they deserve. Roya would have been recognized as a victim of homicide much sooner had those that were responsible for investigating her death understood the nuances of gender-based violence, and that victims can present in all kinds of ways. Often, they may present in ways that contradict our expectations of what a victim looks like and how they behave. And Roya was no exception to this. And instead of being dismissed by officers as simply someone willing and accepting of the harmful dynamic that she had with her uncle, more questions should have been asked. More red flags should have been raised that prompted further investigation and more comprehensive services offered to her. This is in addition to the lack of culturally competent interpretation services that would have made an even bigger difference in her investigation. While the municipality says that it's up to state and federal government to provide appropriate interventions for addressing gender-based violence, with 7% of all femicide victims in Vivan las Autonomas data being from this municipality, I think this is an important figure that the city council should look at with great concern. Victims should not have to rely alone on overworked nonprofits to fill in the gaps that the city can step in to better address, with money and people power invested into thoroughly addressing this problem. This includes addressing systemic poverty, racism, and a lack of trauma-informed domestic violence and victim services that can adequately meet the needs of a multiracial, ethnic, and language-speaking community. I hope the council takes into consideration what I shared today in the coming months. There are always small actions that can be taken to this larger goal of ensuring community members are able to live with greater safety, dignity, and well-being in this municipality as well as in the state of Connecticut. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else from the public like to address the city council? For a second time, would anyone from the public like to address the city council? Steve, I see you getting ready to go up. Oh, I thought you were. And would anybody else from the public like to address the city council? Seeing none, public session is closed at 7:22. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 13, 2026 regular meeting?
Motion.
Motion from Councilman Donovan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Quagliani. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, when you are ready, please distribute the communications.
We have before us tonight communication A from the tax collector regarding refund of overpayments for April 2026, which will be filed with tonight's minutes. Communication B from David Taylor, acting finance director, requesting consideration and action regarding the reallocation of capital project funding in the amount of $100,000 from the radio FNE digital conversion project approved in fiscal year 2025-2026 budget, and to create a new project titled Admiral Street Fire Station Upgrade Renovation in the amount of $100,000. And we have before us communication C from Mayor Dorinda Boer, requesting consideration and action regarding a proposed resolution imposing a 6-month moratorium on the issuance of business licenses for vape shops. And that concludes our communications for this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Before we recess into committee meetings, we will handle the two matters under council as a whole. First is a presentation by Sheila Carmen, the Director of Health here in West Haven, on the 2025 annual report of the Health Department. Before Director Carmen, you step up, I'd like to invite the mayor to say a few opening words.
Yes, first of all, thank you. I welcome our health director and our commissioner of we're going to change your name in the charter, right? From Human Resource Commissioner to Commissioner of Health and Human Services. So we'll get used to that, hopefully. And also we have our board members. So I just want to emphasize what a collaborative approach this is to taking care of healthcare and community outreach in our community. We have board members, we have our health director, we have our commissioner, we have the council, we have Councilwoman Tucker. Councilman Tucker goes to the board meetings meets with Sheila, Sheila meets with John, I meet with Sheila. It's just a continual dialogue on what we could do in the community to get our residents healthy and to be there right for them. And we know it's not just physical health, it's mental health, because mental health is on parity with physical. So, you know, when Chairman Vargo received the report, the annual report of all the work that's being done, he was like, wow, this is fabulous. I think you should come and present. And it is fabulous. That report just put a big bow on everything that has been done. So I give a lot of credit to everybody who is involved. And I thank you, and especially our commission members, because boards and commissions are a volunteer position, and they step up to help our community, and they meet often. I do want to, before we move on, I normally don't speak till the end under new business, but I do want to address the residents that just spoke. It's a little frustrating for me sometimes when people come and speak and then leave before they hear the response. And we have a lot to respond on our unhoused population. We could always do more. Believe me, we're always looking to do more. But, you know, in the last 2 years, we've made a lot of progress. In the past 2 years, if you think about it, we opened our first warming center ever in the city of West Haven. And that warming center, it's run by Rick Fontana, it's run by our health department, and it's one of the best in the region. We have security there, we have a cleaning service there. Everybody has a place to lay their head at night. We even have a nice TV, go watch, you know, in a blizzard, you got something to do. The Power in a Shower, which was a collaboration with our health department. We also have a food policy council. That food policy council got together with everybody who provides food service in the city and everybody who represents a need for food service, whether it's our youth services or our Board of Education or our Veterans Committee. That group got together to make sure they were all providing meals and lunches and dinners, but there was no collaboration. So we said, let's get everybody together so that it's more coordinated. So there is a meal every day of the week for those who are unhoused. We also went out and got bus passes for everybody. We hired a social worker for the first time, a social worker who is at our library every week and who is on the green trying to communicate what resources are available. We just had a meeting with Department of Housing on Friday, myself and Rick Fontana, to talk about what more they can do for the city of West Haven. We are now, our program with the warming center is a model. They applauded, the Department of Housing applauded what West Haven is doing here for our unhoused population, but we said to them, we need a little help because everything I just mentioned, we haven't gotten assistance for, right? We have done it. We have provided those resources because it is a priority for us. We do not turn a blind eye. And it is frustrating for me to hear that without asking what we're doing. We are doing a lot. We could always do more. What happens with a city like West Haven, when you're on the outskirts of a larger city, the funds go to the greater New Haven region. It's not just for housing, it's for other programs as well. And when it goes to the greater New Haven region, very often New Haven is the recipient of the funds, right? They have a greater need, but we have a need too. And that was our conversation with the Department of Housing. Hey, you know, we've been doing this on our own. We need assistance because we will not be able to continue these resources. We also are in conversations with Vertical Church, who is in the process of purchasing the building where our warming center is. And we're talking to them about how we can partner where they actually help run the warming center. So we're doing as much as we can. I know, again, we could always do more. I want to do more, but I don't think it's a fair position to say we're not doing anything. We've done a lot in the last 2 years, and we want to do more. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Well said. I know that everybody in City Hall and all of us care very deeply about these issues, and a lot of us work with various nonprofits to try to support the city as much as we can, but it's a Herculean effort that the taxpayers can't shoulder alone. So hopefully, between your efforts and everybody else here, we can get some outside assistance, and we could provide the support here, but we just need somebody to help us with that. So thank you for all that.
I am going to kick it over to Sheila
Okay.
in 1 second. I just want to echo the mayor's thoughts. One of the things that she brought up quickly was the hiring of the social worker that we have. I guarantee you, Alyssa knows every homeless person in the city. She is out there from down by the car wash on the New Haven line all the way all around. She gets all the phone calls, and she works with Public Works, who are out there trying to identify these folks to see what we can do to help. She has a direct line to 211. We are on the phone constantly trying to get resources for a lot of these people. So I wanted to elaborate on that. And
Yeah, I just want to add, I forgot one thing. We also have a client assist program where we have funding in our budget that we all approved. And when there is a situation where somebody is looking for a place to stay, we have provided a security down payment. We just did this last week for 2 individuals, right, that needed the assistance, right? And we have supported through tax dollars because we want to help those in the community support for down payments. So there's that funding for that as well. Thank you.
All right,
And before you move on, I just want to say that I can vouch for what you just said, Commissioner, because during a community meal, you took my call at about 7:30 at night because I was talking with a husband and wife who were displaced, and you had Alyssa on the phone with you and me, and she knew exactly who they were and provided some assistance over the phone. And then the next day, I actually ran into her coming out of here and said that she was able to meet with that couple. So I know that she's really pounding the pavement and working hard, and she knows all these folks.
And we have Latoya Myers for the elderly population we had talked about. Latoya is getting a lot more involved with everything going on at the HUD locations. We just had some people that had to navigate through Medicare, for instance, and we used some of our money because the woman didn't have enough money for prescription drugs, and she had to have the prescription. So there's a lot of avenues, and as we are getting more comfortable in our own kind of expansion here, we're getting out there more and more. So
I do want Councilwoman Tucker to take the lead on this presentation, so I'm just going to kick the meeting over to you for the moment.
Well, thank you both, and I'm really glad you're here. I was hoping that the room would stay full because I know, especially after attending the last meeting, all of the things that you've been involved in, including addressing domestic violence. And so I'm just a little sad that they weren't able to hear it, but hopefully they'll be able to watch the recording. So, but I just want you to give a update, and you guys can just take it away.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor Borer and council members. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity to share highlights from the West Haven Health Department's annual report. This past year has been one of significant progress as we have reorganized operations, we've strengthened community connections, and we have expanded key public health initiatives. Our core programs include overdose prevention, vaccination clinics, mammography and blood pressure screenings, wellness walks, and not just a wellness walk with a healthcare provider that will talk to you about health-related topics such as chronic disease, prevention and management, nutrition, men's health, women's health. And I'm excited to say that we will be launching that again this summer, starting July 11th. Some of the other initiatives that we have implemented all address the social determinants of health. We continue to provide, we did provide, and hopefully we will continue to provide mobile shower services for the unhoused community. And I just want to, if I may, take the liberty to say that the mobile shower services offer showers to 4 individuals at a time, up to 17 to 20 during the 4 or 5 hour time period. They also provide toiletries for every person who takes a shower, to include undergarments, t-shirts, and they receive donations on a regular basis. So they often have shoes, clothing that is also there for anyone that is in need. So we have increased our support at the Warming Center, helping to connect individuals to housing and other vital services and resources. And these efforts, all of what we've done has been made possible through our partnerships that we've developed with the University of New Haven, School of Health Sciences, Cornell Scott Hill Health Center, Bridges, BH Care, Stop and Shop Pharmacy, and the Board of Education. We also engaged residents at major community events such as the Apple Festival, the Vertical Church Block Party, the Health and Safety Expo, and the Savin Rock Festival. Under the mayor's leadership and guidance, we supported the launch of a domestic violence initiative and have worked closely with BH Care, Youth and Family Services, a local hair salon, and the West Haven Prevention Council. West Haven is a diverse community of more than 55,000 residents, including over 10,000 children. Understanding who we serve helps guide our programming. And this year, we invested in staff development to support a knowledgeable and motivated team. Our environmental health division has remained active, conducting inspections in food establishments, salons, housing units, public pools, daycare centers. They've also hosted an educational seminar for local salons and business owners, restaurant owners as well, to walk them through a sample inspection to update them on any food and code updates and regulations, and to answer questions, an opportunity to educate them. Even when we go into their establishments and we identify that there are things they need to correct, it's not just an opportunity to violate someone, it's an opportunity for education. And so that's what they've been focused on. Our public health nurse, she's been busy providing screenings, medication support, and follow-up care across the senior center, senior housing sites, community events, and the health department. Tuberculosis remains a challenge, and our nurse continues to manage an active TB caseload. Looking ahead, we will continue expanding our research, our outreach, Upcoming events include a beachside gathering with a domestic violence survivor to build further awareness around this important topic. That takes place on May 11th at Oak Street. I hope that you will join us. The launch of our Wellness in Motion series, which kicks off in July. At the beginning of May, we will host the Colgate Dental Van at St. Lawrence School to provide screenings, and we will be providing mental wellness activities during this month and in early June. I want to thank you for your continued support. I want to thank our board members that are here today, Dee and Aaron. Thank you so much. We will continue to work hard to promote, protect, and preserve the health of our residents here in West Haven. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, all the work that you're doing, your entire team, Commissioner Carano, and the board members. I know this is a huge undertaking that you're taking on, and it really doesn't feel good to hear that it's not being seen, and recognized, but I don't want you to feel as though it's missed. It's not lost on us, all that's being done. So, and I do want to give special recognition to Stacy, the nurse, because she actually came into New Haven to assist the health department in New Haven with learning how she manages the TB patients here in West Haven. So that's a tremendous amount of work as well. So I guess the question that I have for you guys is, I know that you have a social worker, that's doing probably a tremendous amount of work. Are there additional resources that would be needed to kind of like round out the programming that you already have? Or do you have resources enough to be able to assist you in the work that you're doing?
Well, we do have our workforce development grant, and we use that to hire interns. And so I think that we could certainly use that in the interim to support our social worker.
Okay. And then as far as, other programs, do you have anything on the horizon that you're thinking of focusing in on, or, what are your thoughts about your future initiatives?
As we look ahead, certainly, I've been giving some thought to that, especially since our last board meeting. We do have an aging population here in West Haven. One of the initiatives, would certainly be around Alzheimer's. Another, it is around chronic disease management and its prevention. That touches pretty much everyone and not just the aging population. So,
yeah, chronic disease management is a huge area to focus on. I know you have your practitioners and your nursing staff here kind of assisting in the programming that you're envisioning, but I just wonder, if there are opportunities for collaboration. We have Cornell Scott Hill Health Center sitting right here in the heart of West Haven.
They've been a great partner, and if I did not mention them, I'm sorry, because they have been wonderful. They their practitioners help lead our wellness series, and they've already said yes to this summer.
Okay.
Anytime I call on them, they're ready.
Okay. Can you just talk a little bit about the school-based health center and the work that they do? Are you familiar with?
We don't really collaborate with the school-based health center
Okay.
as a health department.
Okay. Well, there's an opportunity there.
For sure.
Okay. Are there?
I mean, I shouldn't. We don't. However, I did reach out to them in regards to the oral health clinic that I wanted to bring with Colgate Dental Van, and so we are on board in terms of collaborating with St. Lawrence School. But yeah, outside of that, there are definitely opportunities that we could do more.
Okay. Does anybody else have questions for?
I'm sure we'll talk about this more in a couple weeks when you are here for the budget. But aside from funding, what resource do you think is most needed for your endeavors that that you're struggling with obtaining? Is it human resources, people of certain educational backgrounds or skill sets? Is it venues for seminars and discussions, or anything else?
I mean, in an ideal world, having a clinical component would be ideal, right? We have a social worker, we have a community health coordinator, we have a chief sanitarian, and we have 3 other sanitarians. So we have a strong, solid team, and they are knowledgeable.
The clinic is a whole different level, though. I mean, we're not there.
Right.
Mhm.
That would be a
Ideal.
whole different vision in where to take the city.
If you wanted to have more public gatherings, such as the event on the 11th that you mentioned, are you finding that local establishments are welcoming for you to have those gatherings, or are you struggling to have venues?
I would say no. We are having it at the Oak Grove, but we've built partnerships, solid partnerships, since I've taken on this role, and they're always willing to partner with me. That's something I learned a long time ago. If you don't quite have everything you need, then you collaborate, and you collaborate with those that can partner with you and still serve your community. So I've been fortunate to partner with Cornell Scott Hill Health Center. Even Yale New Haven Health partnered with us on the previous wellness series that we implemented last summer. Stop and Shop is Scott Silver has been wonderful. And even the Stop and Shop store as a whole, they've made donations to our initiatives. Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate with collaboration. So
That's wonderful. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think one of the things we're working on this year is we're going to try to piggyback a little more on the Health and Safety Expo that used to go on down at the Kelsey.
Mhm.
We want more of a health component in that.
Mhm.
So we're going to be setting up a significant amount of tents in addition to all the fire trucks that we see there and the police and everything else. So I think that was a great opportunity last year. There was a lot of people, and I think there's a way to really sell the health department at an event like that, and that'll help us build from there.
Wonderful. Thank you. And just personally, I know that I've reached out to the both of you a number of times on various things. You both have been so amazingly responsive and helpful just as employees. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing for West Haven.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Okay, Councilman Donovan.
Thank you for coming out here. I knew of a couple things that was going on, but I am so stoked to hear of all the stuff all the programs and all the stuff that your department is running. My question, all the stuff that's out there, for residents that may want to volunteer with you or even know about what's going on, is it on the city website? Is it located somewhere where people can look it up?
Sure, that's a good question. Thank you. We have expanded our presence in social media. So yes, we will also take out an ad for our Wellness in Motion series in The Voice. I have my community health coordinator post regularly on all of our social media platforms, and you can find those initiatives on our website as well. We are working to revamp our website. And I don't know if you noticed that we actually redid our logo. So we have a brand new logo.
I didn't get to that page yet. I'm sure.
It's in the
It's
back.
front?
And it's in the back. On the last page, our logo highlight.
All right, great. I'm asking because, I'm retired, so I do have some time. I don't want to say that too loud to John, because he'll be calling me 24/7, asking me to
Awesome.
come out, which I'd probably do 20 of the 7, right? But I do want to help.
Sure.
So I would like to come out there, so that's
Come out to the
another
wellness
reason.
walks. That's always a good way. They walk up and down the boardwalk. They just engage with the people that are on the boardwalk,
Yeah, yeah.
and it really takes off from there.
We
They've
pick
been
up
pretty
people along the
insightful.
way.
All right. And all that'll be on the website, possibly?
Yeah,
Or
and we have, and you have
is this
a,
the list
you
now
have a
you gave
list.
me? Okay.
and
Perfect.
there's a piece of paper in there
Yep.
that has a bunch of
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. So inside of your annual report, we also put in the list of upcoming activities for the year.
Right, okay. Excellent. Thank you very much. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, all set. Thank you. Councilwoman Callahan?
Thank you. I was going to ask what Gary asked, so thank you. I was just going to reiterate the same question and what we could do to help. But for to get the word out on social media, I just saw on the back page too, these are all your links to the social media
Yes.
pages.
Yes.
So I think for all of us, and like anything else, all of us make sure we like the page and share the page.
Yes.
And when you share it, it's a great idea to ask people, please pay it forward and share with your friends and family, because 1 turns into 10, turns into 100. So that is just the way of the world now, social media. So I'm so happy that we have all this right here, because that's what I was going to ask after Gary that, but then I saw it on the back page as well. So, if we just like it and then share any post and then ask our friends and family to please share it on theirs. I think that would really
That would
help
be great.
tremendously too, but we're excited. And again, I want to reiterate, thank you, what the mayor said. I really wish they stayed and listened, but
We do
hopefully
too.
they watch the replay. And, beyond to what they say, we do try our hardest, and you are the backbone of that, so thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just had a quick question. Will you all be doing anything on Memorial Day, as we will be participating with the Memorial Day parade?
We have not yet been, it's not something that is an event for us at the time.
Okay.
We can look into it though.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not on our schedule.
Yeah, okay.
to operate the parade.
Okay.
Triple time and a half.
Well, I just figured. I'm sorry.
Triple time and a half.
No, it's on the
Yeah.
schedule.
I don't have the budget. You don't have the budget either, right?
Councilman Quagliani?
Thank you, Chair. I just so I want to take a minute. This is well done. This is very, very well done. It's very concise and informative. I've been here a long time in West Haven, and while we've had services, I don't think we had services that were coordinated as well as these are, the wraparound services that we're able to provide in just a short amount of years. I mean, I think if you go back not too far into the past, we had some services that were maybe not coordinated, and there were gaps. And I think you've done a great job kind of closing those gaps and streamlining services and leveraging partnerships. And I mean, it's really well done. It's great to see the maturity of the department and our programming. And so you may get folks that say that they don't know that these services exist, but I could tell you that I think people in West Haven do know, and they have an opportunity to easily find out all the information when they're looking for it. Sometimes we don't want to know until we need to know, but I just think it's really well done. So thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Anybody else? No? Anybody else? Thank you so much. I truly appreciate. I'm sorry, Mayor. I think our mayor wants to say something.
It wasn't loud enough, which is unusual. So I want to thank you also. I want to thank the whole team. I want to thank in particular Andressa helped, actually lay it all out. Dawn's right on, Councilwoman Callahan's right on point. I was going to say the same thing. Gary asked how to help. The best way we could help is share and get the information out there, because there's a lot of resources. I just wanted to answer the school-based clinic question because Cornell has a big footprint in the schools, which they didn't have before. And I felt it was really important because not only are they in West Haven, but prior, it was some of the service was subcontracted out to Optimus, and Optimus is a very good FQHC, Federally Qualified Health Center, but they're in Bridgeport. So if you go in the school and you have an issue and you need a continuum of care, it only makes sense that you're going to have it right here because some of those families have transportation issues. So, in answer to your school-based health clinic, Cornell is really making inroads, and they're actually having a tour where most of our department heads are going to go over there because everybody should know about the services that they provide. And the other thing I wanted to mention about, this report shows all the, I don't want to say glamorous stuff, but a lot of the community programs that are the great bells and whistles and impactful. But let us not forget all the other work that the health department does, which is they have to test mosquitoes during the summer, and they have to test our water on the beach, and they have to figure out where the bacteria is coming from. And our health department has to go to the dumpsters, and they have to inspect salons, and they have to inspect restaurants. Not very popular when they show up, but they're there to keep us all healthy. So it's not all is all in this annual report because Sheila has a whole team that's out there doing the nitty gritty. So I just want to make sure I pointed that out. So
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you all. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Commissioner, before you go, do you have some folks here that you want to give a shout out to? The folks behind you, just
Yeah, well,
shout out to them.
Sorry.
They're here. Might as well say hi.
Yeah, please. D. Gruber, they're on the Board of Health, and Aaron, and they're from the Board of Health, and they came to support us in our quest.
Well done to everybody. Thank you.
Yay!
Okay, now we will move on to Communication C from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding consideration and action regarding proposed resolution imposing a 6-month moratorium on the issuance of business licenses for vape shops. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the authorizing resolution, then I will ask for a motion in a second. So for once I was right?
You were right.
That is, oh, and that's on the record, right?
No.
Show my wife.
I don't have my voice on.
So I'm going to read the authorized resolution, ask for a motion in a second, then discussion. Oh, I hope my wife's watching. A resolution imposing a moratorium on the issuance of business licenses for vape shops. Whereas the City of West Haven is committed to protecting the public health, safety, and welfare of all residents, businesses, and visitors. And whereas the city has determined that a review and update of the existing regulatory framework governing establishments engaged in the retail sale of electronic nicotine delivery systems, also known as ENDS or vape products, electronic cigarettes, and related paraphernalia is necessary to ensure that such businesses operate in a lawful, transparent, and responsible manner. And whereas the city recognizes that vape shops, while lawful businesses, present unique public health considerations, including youth access, product safety, zoning impacts, and compliance with state and federal regulations governing electronic nicotine delivery systems. And whereas the city further acknowledges the need to prevent unlawful and unregulated sales practices, including the sale of vape products to minors, the sale of unapproved or illicit substances, and the operation of establishments without proper oversight. And whereas pursuant to the general police powers granted to the city under Chapter 2 of the West Haven City Charter, including the authority to regulate businesses and protect the public health and safety and welfare, the City Council is empowered to adopt measures necessary to address emerging regulatory concerns. And whereas the West Haven Code of Ordinances authorizes the city to regulate and license businesses operating within its jurisdiction, including establishing requirements, conditions, and procedures for such licensing. And whereas Connecticut General Statutes, including but not limited to sections 21A-145 et sec, electronic nicotine delivery systems and vape products, expressly regulate vape product sales, and acknowledge the authority of municipalities to adopt reasonable local regulations to protect public health and prevent youth access. And whereas the City Council finds that a temporary moratorium on the issuance of new business licenses for vape shops is necessary to allow the city sufficient time to study, draft, and adopt appropriate local regulations governing the siting, operation, and licensing of such establishments. Whereas the mayor and the city council affirms their ongoing commitment to maintaining a safe, healthy, and secure environment for all who live, work, and visit the city of West Haven. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of West Haven that a moratorium is hereby imposed on the acceptance, processing, and approval of any new business license applications for vape shops, including any establishment whose business involves the retail sale of electronic nicotine delivery systems, vapor products, or related paraphernalia. This moratorium shall take effect immediately upon passage of this resolution and shall remain in effect for a period of 6 months unless extended or terminated earlier by further action of the City Council. During the moratorium period, city staff, including the Planning and Development Department, the Health Department, and the Office of the Corporation Counsel, shall review existing regulations and prepare recommendations for updated licensing, zoning, and operational standards for vape shops. Nothing in this resolution shall prohibit the renewal of existing validly issued business licenses for vape shop operating in compliance with all applicable laws. The City Council declares that this moratorium is necessary to protect the public health, safety, and welfare, and is adopted pursuant to the city's police powers and its authority to regulate businesses within its jurisdiction. It is further resolved that Dorinda Boer, as the mayor of the City of West Haven, is hereby authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents on behalf of the City of West Haven, and to do and perform all acts which she deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. I am asking for a motion to approve this resolution as drafted.
So,
I have a motion from Councilman Ronan. Do I have a second?
second.
Second from Councilwoman Tucker. Do we have discussion? Mayor, would you like to say anything about this? Gotcha.
No.
No. Okay. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think that as we did 2 weeks ago with the massage parlors, that we're just taking a pause from issuing new business licenses, so that way all the interested parties can take a look at what ordinances and zoning regulations are in place to make sure that they make sense, and that way that we have some teeth to be able to stop any of the unauthorized and bad practices that may or may not be happening. Any other discussion from the council? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, we will now recess into committee meetings. The time is 7:58, and first up now is the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Acquarelli.
Thank you, Chairman. The time is now 7:59, and your Committee on Finance is now in session. Members present are Councilman Donovan, Councilman Quagliani, Councilwoman Tucker, and myself, Councilwoman Acquarelli as chair. Councilwoman Melly Garthwaite is absent. First up, we have our finance updates from our acting finance director, Dave Taylor.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. I'll just say a few words and we'll go from there. Okay. You have before you my report of our results through March. And you can see the revenue collected, what we're projecting for the year, and where our expenses are lying. I just want a couple of comments about that. First of all, revenue collected compared to previous years is a little behind due to our 4 payment scheduled for this current year. We are projecting to come in about where we've come in year after year, so we're not worried about that. So that's a good thing. And actual expenditures are typically around this range as well at this point in the year. A lot of things get back-ended, and in fact, some of our funding to our internal service reserves and OPEB, et cetera, it's a little more back-ended. So that's why some of the expenditures aren't as high yet. So as the report says, we are projecting a $2.2 million deficit for the year in the general fund. Revenue being a deficit of $5 million. And none of these are new to you. Month after month, my predecessor has, and thankful for him, by the way. Michael was a great partner to have. As mentioned to you about the Board of Education issue with the $3.6 million being shifted around from the way we budgeted it, and that investment income, which we're trying our hardest to get that number up, but is falling short basically because of a lack of cash on hand compared to what we thought we would have. And then another one, city clerk, I just want to mention the building and other construction permits are off, as are the city clerk recording fees. These driven basically by external reasons. You don't record documents if people aren't selling homes, and you don't issue building permits if people aren't making renovations. So these two things have fallen off this year, and so therefore we're not getting it. On the expense side, we are coming in favorable on the expense side. I know it doesn't say it here. I made a note for next time. We're $2.8 million favorable. Most of that's driven by our funding of pensions, which we are still going to fund at ADAC. We have a revised actually defined contribution based on the addition of the younger police officers into the pension plan, which you guys did last year. And so therefore we're having a good savings there. And we over budgeted a little bit on our health care costs. So we're coming in there as well. And there's a little bit of conversation here about overtime. We don't budget as much overtime in most of the departments. We budget for full staff, and when we have people out and it's necessary to cover, then we incur a little bit extra cost as people work overtime. However, most of the staffs aren't critical to have coverage, whereas the police and fire, police in this case, because we're talking about the city, it's mandatory. We really have to have coverage out there. And just a couple of lines there. We also paid the retro. We anticipate paying the retro on the police officers' contract, and so that's been pushed into the forecast. That's the commentary on the city. I could stop there or keep going.
Do you have more?
Well, the Allingtown and sewer, just to say that they're basically on plan.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
I know I'm not Sheila.
I'm a little OCD, I apologize. Does anyone have questions for Mr. Taylor? Councilman Quagliani?
Thank you. What would it be without a question to Dave, right, Dave? Dave, so the police officers that are swapping from the defined contribution to defined benefit, right, does that create a savings for the city for Social Security payments? Because now those people are well,
I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what it does. It does create a savings for the city on 401k match,
right? Right.
For certain. I'm sorry, I just don't know the answer to that.
All right, maybe we could find out.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Absolutely.
So,
I can't remember if they pay FICA or not. I thought they did.
And then under miscellaneous parks and recreation, I mean, typically that account, year over year, it got funded $70,000, then it went up to $124,000, then it was $53,000. Now this year, the year-end forecast is $300,000, but we adopted a budget of $375,000 thousand. Did something get added to that account that wasn't typical?
The budgets have been way behind the actuals for years since COVID. We had 390,000 actual, I believe, last year or the year before. We typically pull in about $250,000 in the last 3 months of the year, which have not happened yet. And I just for everyone's benefit, these are program participation fees. These are reservations of picnic areas, etc., around the city. The drivers that would knock them down would be weather and just people not getting together, and so.
And electricity, I think we're seeing that kind of across the board.
Yeah.
I know the sewer treatment plant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, we didn't lock in on a rate for when we put the fuel cell down there, or we didn't do any.
No, we do have a separate rate with this Doosan Energy.
Yeah.
But it's just like we do with Consolidated. There's a delivery and a production, and they're two separate things. But yeah, we're still seeing some savings there.
Okay. I'm all set, Chair. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else on the committee? Oh. All right, I'm going to open it up to the council. Chairman Vargo.
Thank you. Dave, thank you. Thank you again for stepping back into this role. I know that we all miss Michael, but we wish him well where he landed. But thank you again for taking this on and for dealing with us next month. I know that you're really looking forward to that.
Best part of the year.
It's like Christmas. One thing I just wanted to highlight is I want to applaud your department and the mayor and frankly the city council over the last couple of years of really trying to increase the fund balance, because that's how we're going to cover this deficit. And it was very wise of everybody to do that. So where do you think that we're going to end up on the fund balance at the end of this fiscal year, both in terms of dollars and percentage, and how does that kind of look with the policy that we put in place a couple years ago?
We believe we'll be within policy. I believe the fund balance is around 21 million with the audited statements for 24. We anticipate between 25's results, which are also we've communicated previously, will be a deficit. And with what we're seeing here, we could be about $6 million down off of the 21, so around 15 million.
That's cumulatively?
Yes.
Okay.
Which I believe would be about 8 to 9% of, and which I think we said 8 or maybe even lower than that in the policy. Great. With a goal to get higher.
Of course, right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Any other questions for Mr. Taylor? Mayor Bohr?
Got one right here.
Thank you, David. He's back. So just a couple of things on the fund balance. We may have to hit the policy because we did not expect these deficits from the Board of Education. So you're seeing a $5 million deficit, but we're doing better in some other accounts, which is offsetting it. We've been working really hard on the city side. Not to say they don't work hard on the Board of Education side, but we had the meeting the other night, and I think the deficit was an opportunity for the Board of Ed to take a step back and reorganize the way they are tracking their finances. It's still a little difficult for us to track, but we're getting there. So we will have to hit the fund balance because, that's what it's unfortunately there for, right? Like a rainy day, and somebody hands you an $8 million deficit on special education, $4 million in a riot. It's pouring. So I think a lot of the good work that we've all been doing helps to offset that. You asked a question, Ron. I forget what it was. I was going to answer. I lose my train of thought. Sorry. But while I'm thinking about my train of thought, I did want to point out under finance, these are some of the programs that are helping with us to offset those challenges we've seen with the Board of Education. And we just put this report together today, so I didn't get a chance to put it in your package, but I'm sure maybe we could just put it online with the package. But this is the cars registered, not in the city of West Haven. So we hired the company, CTR, and they literally go out. They're like a little detective agency. They go out and they scan license plates. They have to see them for a period of time. They don't just scan it once, right? They have to go back, see it at the same house. And this gives you an idea of the volume. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of numbers on this about expired registration, registrations, out-of-town vehicles, and out-of-state. We've added millions of dollars to the grand list, and we've collected in funds an additional $500,000 based on this work. Now we pay CTR their fee, which is 40%. That sounds high, but it's actually typically 50%. We negotiated them down to 40%. So at the end of the day, our net realization is $300,000. And that's a lot to add to the bottom line for this work. And, you know, we said it, I say it every meeting, every time we talk about these out-of-town license plates. You want to come to the city? We welcome you to the city. You got a couple of months to get it together and register your car. But there's no reason that I or anybody should be paying for your services that you are using. You know, we all have to pitch in, and if you don't do that, then some of us pay, some people will pay higher and some people are not paying anything. So we got to equal it out. So this is really great work by Amory in the assessor's office and also Rachel in the tax collector's office, but we also started the BOOT program back up. So the BOOT program, between the BOOT program and this, we saw our collection rate for motor vehicles jump, and that is also helping with our revenues right now. So we're coming in more favorable than we actually budgeted. So that's great. Anything else on budget? You had question. I can't remember what your questions were. Oh, were your questions on Park and Rec? What we were budgeting for revenue? What were you asking?
Revenue. Yeah.
It was revenue, right? So we increased our fees. It was a nominal amount on every program, but it was like $5. We don't want to, break the bank for families, but also minimum wage went up, so our costs went up, whether it's lifeguards or counselors. So that's what that is. That's what it's attributed to. And just again, I met with Neil again today. So just because we had that meeting the other day doesn't mean those conversations are over. We continue to look for ways to spend the funding, and we are anxiously, right? The budget is 10 days away. We work on it every day. We block our calendar, and we're anxiously waiting to hear from the state. It changes every day. I talked to the delegation again this weekend. I'm sure they will be happy when this is over. So it's going to make or break us if we get the funding that we need from the state that was cut from our budget. This is like a perfect storm, right? Board of Ed has a deficit and we were cut from the state. If we get that funding, we will be in better shape than if we don't get that funding. If we don't get that funding, it's going to be a rough budget. So just, put your seatbelts on and yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Boer. Councilman or Chairman Vargo, did you have something to add?
Yeah, all I wanted to say is, Madam Clerk, if you could please send this out to Mr. Walsh and ask him to upload it as a supplemental to our packet, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
And Councilman Donovan?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dave, how are we doing?
Good to see you.
All right. The only question I have is
Up close this year.
Well, for now, anyways, right? The property tax relief for the veterans, we forecasted only 48,000, and the budget adopted 100. Is that we have more veterans applying for that? Is that because we got a deficit of 51,000?
That would be driven by who's applied, yes.
Right. So, I mean, is it something that we need to forecast more of?
Hang on a second. Where is that?
I'm going to jump in.
I'm not sure. Is that revenue? Is that revenue? Or is
Remember,
it expense?
the state passed the option for us to provide the disability relief. So I think some of that's incorporated in there.
Gotcha. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. So.
Sorry about that. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you both. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Tucker.
And maybe the mayor can answer the question as well. But With the BOE, you know how last budget season we consolidated some of the things in the budgets that were shared across the different departments, you know, to get some economies of scale. Do we have the ability to do the same thing with the Board of Ed? So things like, you know, travel and, you know, those kind of things. Is there an ability to kind of do some of that work across the city with the BOE?
Yeah, we talk about that. You know, it sounds good, and it sounds good to me when I go and I talk, and then when we sit down and we put it on paper, we're like, there's not too many things that we can combine. We tried to do it with payroll, that didn't work out so well.
Mm-hmm.
We had a payroll manager, and we were going to combine the payroll. We talked to the MARB about that. And we ended up, it's just so unique that we can't do it. We talked about personnel, but, you know, we talked about everything from, there's a lot of things the cities manage for the Board of Education, like, for example, workers' compensation or, you know, cutting the checks. Like, our finance department is the finance department for the Board of Education, except for, you know, payroll. So we do a lot of that. As you mentioned payroll, I remember my other thought that I want to make sure I mention. We haven't gotten our audit back yet from fiscal year 25 because it was delayed. The auditor hopefully has the audit done in a month, but the auditor is indicating that there may be another hit to the budget based on grants management on the Board of Education side. So, that has been a repeat comment in the audits, I believe. But you know, we heard the other night when you were asking, actually, Chairman Vargo, you were asking a lot of questions about how we're budgeting the grants and how we're using the grants. That has been a comment in the past, and you know, I think there could be $1 million hit to the budget with.
We're vigorously protesting, and
yeah,
the finance director of the Board of Ed is you know, providing data and information and asking, you know, for more from the auditor. So I don't know where
we could always protest an auditor's comment, but at the end of the day,
yeah,
you know, they have last say on the numbers. And
they
if
do.
If there's another million, then that's going to be.
Yeah, we're trying to convince them that it's okay.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I just rather to hear you say that it's going to be a tough budget season if it's the perfect storm and all those things collide, you know, all at the same time. I think we're going to have to make some really tough decisions and really, you know, make some drastic moves.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what, I'm just saying that, you know, what didn't work maybe, or what we didn't want to have work. If that's going to be the scenario and that's the setup, then
I agree. And we do work on that every day.
Yeah.
You know, today was personnel day. Those are looking at the personnel. And there's some positions that, you know, are great to have. But we got to go down to, you know, there's probably going to be some layoffs on our side. So we are looking, because don't forget, there's also bumping. So we're in a union environment, and it's if we eliminate your position because we know we could consolidate with that position, if you have seniority, you bump. So there's going to be a big bumping effect. So we're trying to minimize that the best we can, but we really, you know, we have no choice. So everybody knows it's going to be tough. So we're working on it, and trust me when I say we work on it every single day. We look at that budget. Right, David?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And when Mackie suggests the health department goes to the Memorial Day parade, all I hear is cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh my God.
Or maybe raise his taxes.
I'm kidding. But you know what? There's other things that I will say in West Haven, you know, I hear both sides of the coin. I'll have somebody say, you know, we pay high taxes, so where's this service? You're paying high taxes because we have these services that we don't necessarily need. And I'm not going to say which ones I think we should change at the moment, because you know, but there's some things that, it's kind of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. Do we cut back and tell people we all got to, change our little services? No, I pay high taxes. I want those services. You're paying high taxes because you want certain things on the holiday when it's double time and a half on a Sunday, right? Seriously, right? We look at it, we want to have this event on this holiday. It's a $200,000 difference because we have habits here. And listen, I grew up here. I have those habits too, but I also, looking at the numbers, know we got to make those changes.
Thank you, Mayor Boer. Councilman McMillan.
I just had a question. Has the Board of Ed, when we met last week, have they been entering their information as we talked about in the meeting? Are their budgets being posted online as some of the things? I hadn't gone up to check, but I was just wondering if they had started implementing.
I didn't check online. We have recommended it a few times. I know they were working to try to do it. I don't know if it's up there. I think we sent our message, right? Post it online. We need to get any transfers. The city council and the mayor needs to see those transfers before they happen. But what we read was they can go to the Board of Ed, right? And then the meeting immediately following after a transfer, you need to explain to the Board of Ed why you made that transfer, but it also needs to go to the city council. And what I was saying in that meeting was, because everybody was saying, we would like to have this, we would like to have that. It's not a like to, it's the law. It is the state statute that education systems, because we give the pot of funding, and the Board of Ed determines what to do with it, because there's 9 separate elected officials that can determine how to best use that funding. But we also need to be apprised of what's happening, and that's why the law is there. Protects the Board of Education for their role, but also protects our role as well. So check online when you go home, Mackie.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Callahan.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Hello. Welcome back. My question, of course, is for the Allentown Fire Department. Just looking, I believe you answered the question, but with the number, it's because of the way the tax dollars are coming in, that the current property, the $231,000, is that because of just the we switched it over to the 4 payments a year? It's not showing. You're seeing a smaller number. Yeah. Yes. Okay, that's just what I just want to see, because I think otherwise Allentown looks good for the budget. So that was just my question. Thank you. All set. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mayor Boer.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Allentown Fire Department, yes, for this year, but fiscal year 27, they're $1 million short based on what the state cut in pilot funding. So if the state did not cut the $1 million in pilot funding for Allentown Fire Department for fiscal year 27, they would be fine. If that money doesn't come through next week, Allentown's going to have to go up on taxes.
Thank you, Mayor Boer, and thank you for also working so diligently with the Board of Ed and Mr. Taylor. It means a lot, not just as a councilwoman, but personally as well as a resident. So thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions or comments for Mr. Taylor on the updates? All right, Mr. Taylor, you can remain standing for Communication B. From David Taylor, Acting Finance Director, requesting consideration and action regarding the reallocation of capital project funding in the amount of $100,000 from the Radio FNE Digital Conversion Project approved in the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget, and to create a new project titled Admiral Street Fire Station Upgrade Renovation in the amount of $100,000. I'd like to open this up favorably, please. I have a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor?
Yes, so basically, the radio program was approved last year by council. Thank you. The radio program was approved last year by council for $200,000, and we found, well, through the emergency management department, and I'll ask my colleague to come and talk about that a little bit
Thank you.
more. Additional funding was found, and maybe you can talk about the other program as well.
Certainly, I'd be happy to. Thank you, David. Good evening, everyone. I'll be brief. If you all recall, we had received a joint regional grant to upgrade all of our subscriber units on our two-way radios that were 14 years old. I secured a grant for all three departments. We were able to spend $1.5 million and got all these new digital equipment. The one thing that the federal government won't give us money for is the FNE, which stands for Fixed Network Equipment, which still remains analog operation. So we've gotten the price. We received the price back then, and that's when Rick Fontana got on board, and he was very knowledgeable about grants, very knowledgeable about a lot of emergency operations. And he said, I think I may have found some money for that. So long story short, we had each of the three different fire department districts were going to budget $100,000 each, and that's what I did last year for our share in upgrading that system. But now we don't need it, and I verified that with Rick. He says, no, that's all covered. So now that $100,000 is sitting there, and we want to reallocate it for another important project, and that's reactivation of the Admiral Street Station, which came out of the MARB commissioned study on fire department location and deployment resources. And it comes right out of the report. We really should reactivate the Allentown station for a number of reasons. One being that we're going to put 24/7 coverage in there with career. We're also going to be more effectively able to staff the very successful UNH student bunkie program. And we're going to be reducing our response times to a 4-minute response time to areas that we're now doing 6 and 8 minutes. And that's going to help our ISO, Insurance Services Organization, public protection classification. Right now, Allentown's at a 3. We're very close to getting to a 2, and that affects all commercial insurance rates. So it's a win-win in that regard.
Thank you, Chief Trenzio. I think it's great that that reallocation's important to reestablishing the Admiral Street Fire Department or firehouse. I just had a couple questions regarding the $100,000. In this phase, I see there are 4 phases or 4 items listed in this phase. The $100,000 will cover all of that?
Yes, it will at this point.
Okay.
And anything else that would be needed, I would budget for or get into future capital requests.
Okay.
But these items will be the bare bones for us to get personnel in there for their safety, for their operational effectiveness.
Okay.
And
I was going to ask that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And keep, no, we needed these things. Some of these things we needed all along,
Yep.
but the rest of them were needed to get them in there.
Okay. And do you expect there to be a second phase in this project in the future?
Well, good question. I had submitted a proposal for future consideration. Getting the station up and running effectively is one part of it.
Right.
As most of you may realize, it's a landlocked station. I don't even have room to take the standby generator that's currently located inside the building, which is really a hazard. I have no room to put it outside. We have to do a negotiation with our neighbors. In that report that I mentioned from the Emergency Services Consulting International that MARB had made us commit $30,000 to do, well, I'm not letting that money sit around and not be used.
Absolutely.
They said, and I'll read it right from the report, the West Haven Fire Department, Allentown, the Admiral Street Station considered the acquisition of neighboring residential parcels, rezoned to allow a complete renovation of the existing fire station, which we're doing, and utilize additional space added to the station to accommodate the separate Allentown Volunteer Fire Association supplemental personnel who are vital to our operation, and staffed engine company of 3 personnel. Along with that, sufficient parking spaces. We barely have enough. And as illustrated, this will increase by 5% incidents covered with a 4-minute response time.
That's wonderful. And I just had one other question about the emergency infrastructure. It says pending quotes. Do we know how much we need for that?
Well, that brings me back to the generator, standby generator. The one that's in there right now is about, I think the rep from the Kinsley Power said it's about 45 years old. It's single phase and it should be 2-phase. And we haven't gotten exact quotes on it, but we're guesstimating around $15,000 to put a new one in there, relocate it, and reallocate some of the power we have at the Fairfax Street station to put standby power on the annex that we paid for out of ARPA money. So it's not going to be a lot of money, but we should be able to budget for it.
Right.
Upcoming years.
Very good. Thank you so much, Chief. Does anyone on the committee have any questions for Chief Terenzio? Councilman Quagliani?
I think just one, Chief.
Yes, sir.
First off, thank you for mentioning the Bunkie program. I think it's a great partnership and collaboration. So as this station becomes more active, hopefully the program will continue to be enhanced. So is the entire system digital now? So you have the portable radios and
mobiles,
the equipment all digitized.
All the subscriber units, the mobiles, the in the vehicles, the portables that we each carry, and the chargers and base stations are digital. It's the comparators and the other base station radios that are located that are fixed at the different voting sites. Those need to be updated.
So you're still analog.
We're still waiting. Yeah, we're still analog on those.
So once that other equipment comes in, then you could switch
100%.
over to digital.
Yeah, 100% digital. But the important part of that was, and what got the federal money to us right away was that we were operating on firegrounds where we were not able to do on simplex channels, where we didn't have to remain reliant on a computer. So it was radio to radio. We were not able to do radio to radio.
Right.
We had to remain on the main channel, which was relying on a computer. The computer goes down, you lose everything. And trust me, you don't want to lose your radio communications inside an IDLH atmosphere.
So the radio system upgrade is completely funded at this point, and that's why we're going to transfer.
And again,
that,
I've got to throw out kudos to Emergency Management Director Rick Fontana. He's been a valuable asset.
Great. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other questions? I'd like to open it up to the entire council. Councilman Callahan?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Hello, Chief. Get back up there, please.
I didn't walk too far.
No. First of all, thank you. I think that you're very thorough, and we appreciate that with the numbers and just always updating. It really is appreciated.
Thank you.
First thing I'd like to say is that I believe that a lot of this is a safety thing. Outside the bunkies, but a lot of it is safety, and it's kind of like a no-brainer. To hear that generator's that old is disheartening.
Well, just to set your mind at ease, we had it installed already, the diesel capture exhaust system. And the building's so old, there wasn't enough room to put the big tubes in. So these are OSHA compliant, and I had the ability to show Councilman Donovan and Mayor Borer, when they were visiting the station last week, their whole atmosphere. They take in everything as soon as the engines start up. But what's also a part of it is a carbon monoxide detector that will kick it on too, and guess where it's located? Right alongside the generator. So if that thing does go off, the exhaust system's kicking on.
Got it. As far as I'm glad to see the monkey program coming back. Is there any? And I know you probably can't have an answer to this, but we do a lot with UNH. Your department does a lot, and I was wondering if in the future, if there's any way, or even for us as a council, to ask if they could help us out a little bit with donations. Or I'm not really quite sure how it works, or if I'm even asking the way correctly. But I know that the Allentown Fire Department, without a doubt, helps out UNH quite a bit. Am I right?
Well, we do, but they do cover the cost of that too. So our response is there, and it doesn't matter. And I'm sure Councilman Quagliani would probably attest to this. It doesn't matter how often we go there. What does matter is that we are ready to go there.
Right.
That's what the cost is. And UNH is already trying to help out the entire city and our first responders by giving them free tuition through Mayor Bora's efforts. So, granted, they do give us $100,000 a year, and it goes. We account for it. We don't have it yet. Our previous deputy chief did a analysis of other universities and colleges in the area and how much they give to their fire departments in the cities. UNH was a little soft on it, but I think they stepped up through Mayor Bora's efforts on making sure that we are not only developing future firefighters and first responders in the theoretic application of our craft, but I would like them to see maybe they could step up to help us with the bunkies in Allentown, just a little bit. Maybe they could come across with a few more dollars, but because we are providing the practical application to their development, which is just as important and at times maybe a little bit more important.
Okay. Just a thought.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mayor Bora had something to add?
Yes, I would like to respond to that. You know who needs to give us money for the Allentown Fire Department? Yale.
Thank you, Mayor.
That's
That's
who
right.
needs to give us
Right.
money because it's not just West Campus. Our fire department serves Derby Avenue, where Cox Cage is and the field house is, and everybody says that's New Haven. That is West Haven property. And yes, Yale gives us a voluntary contribution, but compared to how our costs are going up for fire and police and ERS and paving the roads and the infrastructure and the sewer and all the work we do around their properties, they can pay us a little bit more. And I have sent... you can see I'm passionate about this. I have sent a letter and I have met with the president to no avail, but I will be taking my next steps regarding that issue.
And I'm always ready to help out whenever I'm asked to do so.
And by the way, they also they pay to use one of our lots on Front Avenue for commuter, and they didn't pay their bill. Imagine that. So not only did they not provide us with additional funding that we need, but they didn't pay their bill for that lot. So we sent a message to everybody saying we're going to tow their cars effective May 1st.
And if they're burned, we're going to get there a lot quicker.
Thank you, Mayor Bora. Councilman Ronan, and then Chairman Vargo.
Chief, I would be remiss if I didn't mention my colleague, Councilman Beaton, who isn't here. He holds the Bunkie program near and dear to his heart. That's where he started when he was at UNH from Massachusetts. And he went on to have a distinguished career at the Hamden Fire Department, and he's back here serving the city on the city council. So
Thanks
I know he'd love to hear that program is starting back up.
Yeah,
That's all he talks about is when he was a kid and he was a bunk. He says it was the best thing.
And Councilman, there are a number of Bunkie alma mater throughout the region that I'm familiar with, and it is a great program. Thank you, sir.
Chairman Vargo.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. I do want to circle back a little bit to the matter that's before us. radios that were purchased, or the ones that are going to be purchased in the future, is that just for the career officers, or does that include the volunteers as well?
That will include the volunteers as well. Anybody that will be operating on the radio system to battle a fire or any other emergency will be using those radios.
And you're confident that that program is fully funded for everybody?
I am
good.
fully confident in Rick Fontana, who said, "Don't worry about it. I've got this covered."
If he says that, you could take that to the bank.
I could take it to the bank.
Please forgive my ignorance about the condition of the Admiral Street firehouse, but is it operational now, or is that what we're working towards?
It's operational on a part-time basis because it's been in varying states of disrepair for the past over 30 years.
So this is not going to get us over the hurdle, correct?
This will get us over the hurdle while I'll be able to put unionized firefighters in there and volunteers safely and supervised. The union firefighters absolutely said they will not go in there, and they would grieve it until we put in these exhaust extractors, number one. And I wouldn't do it any other way, number one. We had to replace the overhead door, which we already did out of last year's operating budget. That was a $16,000 replacement, but unfortunately, it was damaged by one of the volunteers backing a fire truck in, so we put it through insurance, so it didn't cost us anything. But as the report said, to acquire the building next door, if we were able to, would give us a parking spot. And then for future, number of years down the road, we could add on to the station and bring it back to its original important. It's still important because it's, this study didn't say that we needed to do this because it's there. That's where the next increase in call volume is going to be, right around that big intersection. So we can operate out of there right now with this money.
So with this $100,000 investment, we're going to be able to address the OSHA and or union concerns that presently does not allow you to operate 24/7, right?
Exactly.
So
and we do have staff working in there that occasionally when those rigs start up, when those diesels start up, there is fumes in there that are not being abated.
But this $100,000, now you can, once this is, if this is approved and once this work is done, you can operate 24/7 out of there.
Yes, because we are making 2 separate bunk rooms for the volunteers and the career. We're putting an office in for the career supervisor, lieutenant. We're redoing the kitchen facilities, which are 30 years old, really are in disrepair. We're going to paint the downstairs apparatus room, engine room, where the apparatus respond out of. Redo the floor. There's some leaks in it. There's a chipping ceiling. The ceiling's chipping and falling, so we spray that. We had a $20,000 quote for that to spray it. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, I don't doubt you, but being involved in major construction projects, myself and seeing the numbers, $100,000 doesn't go a whole far way. So I want to make sure that if we do approve this, that it's going to be money well and wisely spent.
Yes.
And it's going to get us a tangible result and not just another step that we're going to have to wait another 5 years for.
Right. And in speaking with the mayor, she says, if you can get it done for 100, I'll get behind it, but that's all you got. And that's what we'll do.
That's what you'll do. Okay. And I have, Mr. Taylor, I have one question for you. I just want to confirm, you could just nod your head. This is, I know this is in the capital plan. This is capital budget in the budget for cash. It's not bonding, right? It's in the capital plan. Oh, it is bonded. Okay. Okay.
There are none of the stipulations about same for same that we would have to worry about because we haven't actually gone to market and bonded.
Okay, so this is for bonding, but we haven't. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And it's also within the same fund as the Allingtown fund. So it's, it fits all the.
It dots all the I's.
And yes.
And all, okay.
It crosses the I's.
Crosses the I's? Yeah, we're all. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. Any other questions? Seeing there are none, all those approved?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. You're very welcome. Chairman, the time is now 8:45, and your Committee on Finance is now closed.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor and Chief. Thank you both for your time this evening. Wish you well. Stay safe. Thank you. You all do as well. And Dave, we'll see you in a couple weeks. God willing. All right. Next up is Personnel and Civil Service. We do not have a quorum, so we will move on from that. That communication will be held. So then the next up is the Legislative Matters Committee. Chairman Quagliani.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your Committee on Legislative Matters is now in session at 8:46 p.m. Members present are Councilwoman Akbarali, Councilwoman Tucker, Councilman Ronan, and myself acting as chair. Councilwoman Garthwaite is absent. Before us we have tonight is Communication H from the April 13th, 2026 agenda from Mayor Durin-Nabor requesting consideration and action regarding an amendment to Chapter 191-56.1.d sewers of the Code of the City of West Haven sewer connection permit fees. I'd like to entertain a motion to bring this out favorably.
So moved.
By Councilwoman Akbarali. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Tucker. Any discussion in committee? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Next, we have Communication I from the April 13th agenda as well from Mayor Durin-Nabor requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Chapter 191-56.1.h sewers of the Code of the City of West Haven sewer connection fees. I'd like to bring this out favorably. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilwoman Akbarali, second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Tucker. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Next is Communication J from the April 13, 2026 agenda from Mayor Durin-Nabor requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Article I of Chapter 119, Garbage, Refuse, and Rubbish of the Code of the City of West Haven. I'd like to bring this out favorably.
So moved.
Councilwoman Akbarali.
Second.
Councilwoman Tucker. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is Communication K from the April 13, 2026 agenda from Mayor Durin-Nabor requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Section 119-11 of the Code of the City of West Haven, penalties for garbage, refuge, and rubbish container violations. I'd like to bring this out favorably. Is there a motion?
So moved.
By Councilwoman Akbarali.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Tucker. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Next up is Communication L from the April 13, 2026 agenda from Mayor Durin-Nabor requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Section 170-32 of the Code of the City of West Haven, penalties for violating rules and regulations of park and recreation areas. I'd like to bring this out favorably. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilman Akbarali.
Second.
Second by Councilman Ronan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is Communication M from the April 13, 2026 agenda from Mayor Durin-Nabor requesting consideration and action regarding amendment to Chapter 71-5 of the Code of the City of West Haven, penalties for alarm system violations. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilman Ronan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Akbarali. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries, Mr. Chairman, and that concludes your business of the Legislative Matters Committee at 8:49 p.m.
I have to give you props for being able to do that with a straight face. And in 3 minutes. Well done. You know, we get a lot of work done here, but I love the fact that we have some fun with it too. All right, moving on to we're reconvening council as a whole. Time is 8:49, and moving on to unfinished business for charter revision. Councilman Quagliani.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your Council Revision Commission met this past Thursday night, and some of the highlights that took place are they added additional meeting dates in the month of May. They accepted the resignation of Charter Revision Commission member Stephen Johnstone. They reviewed the Council's letter and will review if anything else should be added to clarify a discussion on which appointed positions should be confirmed by the City Council, and B, discussion regarding the treasurer's role and what structure that position will take, if any. They also discussed a succession plan for mayor, potentially mayor, council chair, and council vice chair. That's still under discussion. They voted to change the name of the Allentown Fire Department to officially be the City of West Haven Allentown Fire Department, and that passed unanimously. And they also voted on language regarding the Allentown Fire Commissioners, that the structure of them would follow state statute, and that was passed unanimously. They reviewed some draft definitions that Attorney Mednick had provided, had some healthy discussion amongst the group, and the next meeting is this Thursday, April 30th at 6 p.m. Any questions?
Thank you. I just want to say, and I actually want to applaud the commission. We gave them a very difficult task, and they've done a lot of heavy lifting in the last couple of weeks. So I just really want to applaud the hard work that they are putting into it. They're taking this very seriously with a meeting a week and putting in more meetings to make sure that we get a good product in about a month from now. So I just want to applaud them and thank them for their hard work. I did speak with Chairman Kelly once I learned of Steve Johnstone's resignation, and he and I both agreed that at this stage it would probably not be a good idea to replace Mr. Johnstone because so much has been done. So we're going to leave it at 8 commission members. I've confirmed with Corporation Counsel that does not impact the numbers, the allocation at all, so we are still good. I have spoken with Steve. I'm not at liberty to say precisely why he has resigned, but it is medical related. He is fine, but he needs to take some time for himself and for his family. So on behalf of the City Council, I just wish him well. I thank him for all of his service, and I hope that we see him very soon. Anything else from the council? Seeing none. Thank you, Councilman Quagliani. And now we will move on to committee reports. At this time, I will ask the clerk to read Communication A into the record.
Communication A from the tax collector regarding refund of overpayments for April 2026 will be filed with tonight's minutes.
Thank you. We covered Communication C under council as a whole, so we are all set. So moving on to Finance Committee Chairwoman Acbarelli.
Thank you, Chairman. Communication B to the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven. Your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter from David Taylor, Acting Finance Director, regarding consideration and action, the reallocation of capital project funding in the amount of $100,000 from the Radio FNE Digital Conversion Project approval in the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget, and to create a new project titled Admiral Street Fire Station Upgrade Renovation in the amount of $100,000. Reports that the committee met on the 27th day of April 2026 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved, that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves transfer of funds from the account number 301-000-000-49999-26028 Fire Department FNE Digital Conversion Radio Upgrade Project to the account number 301-000-000-49999-26076 Admiral Street Fire Station Upgrade Renovation Project in the amount of $100,000, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion from Councilwoman Acbarelli regarding a transfer of capital funds in the amount of $100,000 from Allentown Radio FNE Digital Conversion to the Admiral Street Fire Station. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman McMillan. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All set, Councilwoman?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yes, your business on finance is complete.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Personnel and Civil Service, again, did not have quorum, so we're going to hold Communication D from the February 23rd agenda. Moving on to Legislative Matters, Chairman Quagliani.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your Committee on Legislative Matters, to whom was referred the matter of Communication H from the 8/13/2026 agenda, reports that the committee met on the 27th day of April 2026 to consider said matter It is the opinion of the committee that the second reading will be read. and it states, in ordinance amended the Code of the City of West Haven, Chapter 191 Sewers, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of West Haven, Section 191-56.1.d of Chapter 191 of the Code of the City of West Haven is hereby amended to read as follows. D. A person intending to connect a building drain from his property to the public sewer shall first obtain a permit to discharge from the Director of Water Pollution. The application shall be made on forms provided by the Director of Water Pollution, and it shall be accompanied by a sketch or plan showing the proposed installation in sufficient detail to enable the Director of Water Pollution to determine that the proposed installation meets the requirements of this regulation and other applicable specifications, codes, and laws. The application shall be signed by the owner of the premises to be served or an authorized agent and by the qualified contractor, see subsection P, who has been chosen to perform the work. Upon approval of the application and plan and payment of the applicable fees as set forth in subsection H below, a permit shall be issued to have the work performed by the stated contractor. In the event that the premises changes ownership before the work is completed, or if another contractor is chosen to perform or finish the work, the original permit becomes void, and a new permit must be obtained by the new parties in interest. Permits shall be valid for a period not to exceed 60 days and are non-renewable. The fee for this permit shall be $150, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion from Councilman Quagliani regarding amendment to Chapter 191-56.1.d of the Code of the City of West Haven. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilwoman Tucker. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Communication I. To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Legislative Matters Committee was referred to a matter of communication I from the April 13, 2026 agenda. Reports that the committee met on the 27th day of April 2026 to consider said matter. It has been the opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Second reading. An ordinance amending the Code of the City of West Haven, Chapter 191 Sewers, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of West Haven, Section 191-56.1.h of the Chapter 191 of the Code of the City of West Haven, is hereby amended to read as follows. H. Costs and expenses capacity reserve fee 1. All costs and expenses incremental to the installation and connection of the building sewer shall be borne by the property owner owners. The WPC shall change the property owner owners a capacity reserve fee, charge a capacity reserve fee for connecting to the public sewer payable to the City of West Haven WPC in accordance with the following schedule. A. Residential, each dwelling unit, $3,500. B. Commercial, industrial, and retail buildings. Flows will be determined by using actual flow capacity data and Department of Energy and Environmental Protection data and Department of Public Health data for the particular use or sum of square footage for each building discharging to the public sewer multiplied by industry standard constant. For further details, please see WPC rules and regulations. Total flow so derived shall be divided by 65,000 to determine the number of equivalent units, and the so derived equivalent units shall be multiplied by $7,000 to determine the connection fee. In no case shall the connection fee be less than $7,000. When the capacity reserve fee charged to the owner is greater than $15,000, the owner may apply to the Water Pollution Control Authority to pay said fees in installments. The WPCA shall have the authority to approve an installment payment schedule and may provide for interest payments thereon in accordance with Section 7-253 of the Connecticut General Statutes. Where an installment payment plan is agreed upon, the WPCA shall cause the city clerk to record on the land records a certificate of such fact in a form substantially in compliance with the form provided for by Section 7-253 of the Connecticut General Statutes. No installment plan shall be approved for amounts less than $15,000. D. All fees shall be due and payable prior to connection to the public sewer or change of use unless there shall be in place an approved installment plan. E. All properties served by the public sewer system that undergo modifications and or change of use shall apply for a new sewer discharge permit and pay the appropriate capacity reserve fee. And 2, all fees collected under the section shall be deposited in a separate sewer account fund to be used solely for the construction and rehabilitation of public sewer facilities, and I so move.
You should do audiobooks. You're right. I have a motion from Councilman Quagliani regarding amendment to Chapter 191-56.1.h Sewers of the Code of the City of West Haven. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilwoman Accarelli. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Communication J, your Committee on Legislative Matters, to whom it was referred the matter of Communication J from the April 13, 2026 agenda, reports that the committee met on the 27th day of April 2026 to consider said matter. It is a unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Second reading. A summary of an ordinance amending the Code of the City of West Haven, Chapter 119, Garbage, Refuse, and Rubbish, Article 1, Collection and Disposal. The proposed amendment of Article 1 of Chapter 119, Garbage, Rubbish, and Refuse, reorganizes existing sections to add definitions at the beginning and adds a section for commercial, industrial, institutional, mixed-use properties, and residential properties containing 3 or more dwelling units that utilize dumpsters or similar bulk refuse containers. This section shall also apply to temporary dumpsters associated with construction, demolition, or renovation activities, and provides fines for the creation of blight. And I so move.
I have a motion from Councilman Quagliani regarding amendment to Article 1 of Chapter 119, Garbage, Refuse, and Rubbish of the Code of the City of West Haven. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Accarelli. Any discussion? See none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions say nothing at all. Motion carries.
Okay, Communication K. Your Committee on Legislative Matters was referred to matter of Communication K from the April 13, 2026 agenda. Reports of the committee met on the 27th day of April 2026 to consider said matter. It is an unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Second reading, an ordinance amending the Code of the City of West Haven, Chapter 119, Garbage, Rubbish, and Refuse. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of West Haven, Section 119-11 of Chapter 119 of the Code of the City of West Haven is hereby amended to read as follows. 119-11, penalties for offenses. Any person, firm, or business violating any of the provisions of this article shall be fined $100 for each offense, and said rubbish container shall be subject to immediate removal at the owner's expense. Each day the violation continues shall be deemed a separate offense. And I so move.
I have a motion from Councilman Quagliani regarding amendment to Section 119-11 of the Code of the City of West Haven. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilwoman Accarelli. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Communication L to the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven. Your Committee on Legislative Matters has referred the matter of Communication L from the April 13, 2026 agenda. Reports that the committee met on the 27th day of April 2026 to consider said matter. It is unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Second reading. An ordinance amending the Code of the City of West Haven, Chapter 170, Parks and Recreation Areas. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of West Haven, Section 170-32 of Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of West Haven is hereby amended to read as follows. 170-32, penalties for offenses. Any person, firm, or corporation violating any of the above sections shall be fined not more than $100 for each such offense, and a separate offense shall be deemed committed for each day during which a violation occurs or continues. And I so move.
I have a motion from Councilman Quagliani regarding an amendment to Section 170-32 of the Code of the City of West Haven. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Donovan. That was aggressive.
Had to scare her.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Communication M, your Committee on Legislative Matters met regarding the matter of Communication M from the April 13, 2026 agenda. Reports that the committee met on the 27th day of April 2026 to consider said matter. It is an unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Second reading. An ordinance amending the Code of City of West Haven, Chapter 71, Alarm Systems, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of West Haven, Section 71-5 of Chapter 71 of the Code of City of West Haven is hereby amended to read as follows. 71-5, penalties for offenses. Any person, firm, or corporation in violation of any section of this chapter shall be fined not more than $200 for each violation. Each day of maintaining an audible alarm in violation of this chapter shall constitute a separate violation, and I so move.
I have a motion from Councilman Quagliani regarding an amendment to Chapter 71-5. Second from Tucker. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
And Mr. Chairman, that concludes your business on legislative matters.
You know, I feel bad that you really do nothing around here on these meetings, so I'm going to ask the mayor to really bump up the
put a
work
little
for you.
more on there.
Just a little bit more for next meeting. Jeez. Right, those are summaries. All right, any city council liaison reports? Councilwoman Callahan.
Hi, yes, we did the cleanup, and I have to say that it was the first time in my life I was early for anything, so that was a good thing. And because of that, I met up with Councilman Donovan, and we went down and painted the big chair. So it was actually fun. It was windy and cold, but we got it done. And thanks, Gary. It was a good morning. Got some stuff done, but so it was. I think a lot of people actually showed up in different areas. So thank you, Mayor, for putting that together.
Any other liaison reports? See none. New business from the council? You would.
I received a call from a couple of my constituents in the 5th District just wondering if there was an update regarding the basins there on Sanford Street, Mayor. And if I knew any updates, this is what, a year now, maybe a year and a half ago?
Yes. So, remember, it's not the basins, it's the Sanford, the study that we had to do. We got money to do the study. These studies through state funding they're very, very slow. From Lake Street to Sanford to the Cove River, we went over them all today. They're very slow and they're very expensive. So we met with Abdul, and I don't think that study's going to be done until fall. And then once that study's done, we got to find the money to fix whatever they say we got to fix. So things are just, I'm the most impatient person in the world, and it's just like nerve-wracking for me. But, every step takes 4 months, right? You have to do a bid, and then you have to go to the state, and then you have to go to this permit, and then you have to, it's very time-consuming.
Thank you.
I wish it was faster.
Thank you. Any other new business? Nothing else from the council? Okay, Mayor?
Okay.
Someone
Sorry.
talk.
Okay, I will. Okay, a couple of quick things. Yes, Volunteer Day. Thank you very much for those who participated. Thanks for coming out. It was great. We had UNH kids. We had Surfside veterans. We had residents that I never met before that came forward. So I'd say we had about 65 people, and I think we did everywhere from, beach to boat ramp to Marginal Drive to Painter Park. So it was really good. So thank you to everybody who was part of National Volunteer Day, and then also Earth Day. Big Dog Show. Big Dog Show supposed to be Thursday, but guess what? It's gonna rain. So we're gonna make the call tomorrow based on the latest weather report. So it will probably be Friday because the dogs will be here. So the statues and the art exhibits will be here. So we will get a lot of information out there, public relations. So speaking of sharing, once we make that call tomorrow, please make sure you help us communicate that. We did turn parking off for those days. You saw that solicitors, we sent out communication reminding everybody about the solicitor ordinance that we passed last year. We've already apprehended our first solicitor that did not register. Illegal dumping has gotten a lot of attention because we have been catching people with our cameras. People ask, well, do you actually really find them? Absolutely, we do. We not only find them, we make them pick up their stuff. So we got 2 on Spring Street just within a couple of hours. So and I'm telling you this because a lot of these ordinances that we're passing are working, right? The dumpster ones that we passed tonight, that's, to require a permit, not for residential, for one family house, but for, 4 or more. And to keep it neat, right? So it's all part of that cleanup. The other great news is that we were designated Heart Smart. So we'll be sending that press release out this week, but it's based on all of the CPR training and the AED and the Narcan and the wellness walks. A lot of that goes to Ricky Fontana. He's trained over 1,200 people now in our city employees, lifeguards. housing authorities, condominium complexes, churches. We've given out a lot of Narcan, and we've done a lot around AED. So just want to share that good news with you. And my understanding is that they're very close to a budget tonight for the state. So hopefully by tomorrow we will know our numbers. It's great. Thanks.
Hopefully those numbers are very favorable for us. Speaking of the budget really quick, Councilwoman Akbarelli and I have been working with Andrew in the mayor's office, who has been absolutely tremendous, by the way, to coordinate all of the budget meetings. We are very, very close. I just have one straggler that we need to circle back with. I'm not going to say it.
Tell me what
no,
department.
no,
Tell me
no.
right
We're
now.
close. We're close. We're close.
Okay.
So I anticipate being able to send out that schedule to Stacy for online posting. Don't look at me like that. For online posting, and we'll distribute. It's going to be a very tight schedule. I think our first one we have 6 or 7 departments, but they're the shorter ones. So we're doing our best to the larger departments to have on a single night, or and we only have one Friday that we have to meet. So we're doing our best. But I appreciate everybody's accommodating this. And again, thank you for allowing me to use Andrew.
Andrew's amazing.
Yes.
If they firm up a state budget, and they remember we made that the last date because the last date the state can vote on the budget is next Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So that is why we planned our budget for Thursday. Mm-hmm. If they vote on the budget Thursday this week or Friday, then you may have your budget from me like Monday or Tuesday. So I'm just saying, then you might be able to sneak in another department meeting,
right.
or you'll have a couple extra days
right.
to work with.
So, and what we did do is we baked in 4 days after the department meetings. We baked in 4 days for our deliberations and consideration. That way, if we need some other information, or we just need the time that we do have it. So we've been working hard to give us that much time. Anything else from anybody? That's it. 9:12. Motion to adjourn. Second, third. Good night, everybody. Thank you.